On September 22nd, 1989, the PC Engine CD receives a home console port of the very popular Sega arcade game Juoki, which many of us in the West better know as Altered Beast. Now, I don't know about you, but for some reason I seem to have a soft spot for this side-scrolling brawler where a man becomes a beast in every level in an attempt to fight an evil sorcerer. There's just something that was so back to basics about it that I still to this day have a soft spot, even though I have to concede that I don't think it's a very good game. Now, the PC Engine CD version is notable if only because it's one of the few consoles that could actually handle a home port due to the large sprites. Now, it should be noted that the PC Engine proper also got a cartridge version of this game a week later in September 29th, 1989, and it is pretty much the same thing. Now, unfortunately, it's impossible to talk about the PC Engine CD version without talking about the regular version, so here we go. On the PC Engine, one of the biggest compromises is the fact that none of the vocals and a lot of the sound effects aren't present, but otherwise, the game does hold up pretty faithfully. Now, nitpickers will definitely notice that there are a lot of animations and toned-down graphics and, lazy colors. But at the same time, it was impressive that they were able to bring the game over. Another point of contention is definitely the fact that the game is extremely difficult. If you ever tried to play this on the regular PC Engine, I wasn't even able to beat the first boss. You would think that once they bring it over to the PC Engine CD, a lot of those problems would be fixed, correct? Especially with the fact that, given the CD platform, it should be able to handle all of the sound effects. Unfortunately, this is somewhat of a waste of a CD game, and I really hate to say it, and it's not the greatest port of Altered Beast. That being said, it does enable the ability to bring back all of the original soundtrack.
Rise from your grave.
The original game music is present. And they did add a normal difficulty in addition to a hard difficulty, which I found much easier and more manageable. Still, it was more difficult than the Genesis Mega Drive port, although I have to concede that that's probably because the Genesis Mega Drive port is very easy. When you play through this game, you just get that feeling that it's good enough, but it's not quite there. The controls are still a little bit clunky. The PC Engine CD hasn't figured out how to really get down those tight arcade controls that even its non-CD version of the console handles with ease. In addition, aside from the sound effects, the game doesn't really seem to offer much more than the regular PC Engine version offers, other than this story mode. Now, the story mode is super goofy. What it does is it takes regular images from the game and blows them up to astronomical proportions, which makes them look like the weirdest digitized versions of photos that you've ever seen, and it just really doesn't work out, and it's basically a guy for 3.5 minutes speaking in Japanese to tell you, conceivably, the story of Altered Beast. Well, you kind of get that for playing through the game, so I really didn't need this story mode. When I compare it now to the arcade game, again, it's good enough, but then when you compare the fact that at the same time the Mega Drive or Genesis had released a port of Altered Beast that looked almost as good as the arcade and in certain instances enhanced the arcade, it just doesn't hold up. Add to that the fact that you need a System 1.00 card in order to even run the game. It does not run on any other system card, and you get the one game in the entire library of the PC Engine CD that is basically incompatible with a majority of its systems. All of this put together means that this is far from the gem that you wanted, and it's a quite poor version of Altered Beast. Although I will admit that if you didn't have a Mega Drive, and especially if you had a PC Engine CD, you may as well pick it up because it definitely is more playable than its PC Engine counterpart. It's for that reason that I find it very ironic that a lot of people praise the PC Engine version, because the difficulty alone just makes it unplayable in my eyes. Still, it's interesting to see that it exists and to give some basic comparisons of the different versions.